Hi, I'm Paul Lynch, Chairman of the Fingal branch of BirdWatch Ireland. So I'm just going to speak today a little bit about the activities of the branch, what we do and how we can get other people involved in our activities, be it walks or talks, volunteering with some of our conservation projects, some of the maintenance work that we do, service, that kind of stuff. So BirdWatch Ireland is a charity organisation. It's the largest independent conservation organisation in Ireland, over 15,000 members and about 30 branches nationwide. Now all the branches are they work independently from HQ. They're all voluntary run. They receive very little funding from HQ, so they all generate their own cash flow. BirdWatch, the Fingal branch, are a little bit unique. There's probably two other branches that actually own a reserve or manage a reserve. So we're a little bit unique in that sense. And all the activities we do there, we fund ourselves. So where do we get our fundings from? So any who's been to any of our talks are all free, but we have a voluntary contribution at the end. So we get donations at the end of all of our talks. Over the last few years, we've done some surveys for County Council. We've done one for Greenway out along Balbriggan. So we got some sponsorship from that. And over the last couple of years, we've been doing a series of walks, different places along the coastline, sponsored by Fingal County Council. So a series of 6 walks from the Delvin, Balbriggan, Skerries, Rush, all the way down to Baldoyle. And they happen throughout. We had our first one yesterday in Skerries, and that'll go on throughout the winter, through to February or March. And they're all advertised on our website. And as I said, they're funded by the County Council, and that helps bring funds into the branch for our activities. And it's been a big, major boost to our funds over the last number of years. And it's been needed. So why do we need it? So this is the inner estuary in Rogerstown. The area shaded in red is BirdWatch Ireland Reserve. So it's land owned by BirdWatch Ireland. In 1995 that land was purchased, and then in 2004 we erected a hide. You can access it from Ballylee Lane, the Jerry McCann hide. In 1998 we also went into partnership with the Fingal County Council, and we erected a hide on the south side of the estuary, and that's in Turvey Nature Park. That's the Frank McManus hide. And that's open every weekend now from September through to March, every Saturday and Sunday. And we have voluntary wardens there manning that every weekend. This is just closer up. So this is the Frank McManus hide on Turvey. This is the entrance to the North hide on Ballylee Lane. And this is some of the work we've done recently. So we had sort of screening as you're walking down, you don't want to scare the birds. So we had to rebuild all the screening. So last summer, with the help of volunteers, we built up that screening. Access to the hide was difficult. This is the north one. There's a right of way across some land and then onto the reserve. So there's a lot of puddles and muck, especially during the winter. It got very mucky. So the last number of years we built a walkway along the right of way, part just gravel and another part concrete, and then we've been building a boardwalk. One of our committee members, Barney, he's our DIY expert. So he reckons we're only allowed to do this during summer months. So he reckoned it'd take us 3 summers to complete almost 100-metre section of boardwalk. But thanks to the help of these guys, these are Algerian asylum seekers who were in a hotel up in the airport. They came aboard, volunteered with us, and thanks to their help we got it complete in 1 summer. So it was a massive boost to get those guys helping us out. I did have a video there of the boardwalk, but it's not working unfortunately. But almost 100 metres of boardwalk that we built. The other major project that we have is on Portrane Beach. So this is the Little Tern Conservation Project. I went over there in 2016, 2017 and 2018, and there was terns attempting to nest on the beach. So they're like this shingle beach, but there's just so much activity it was impossible for them to survive. And people weren't even aware that they were there. They were walking through with their dogs or with their kids or whatever, and they weren't aware that they were there. So in 2018 we started this project with the help of County Council and MPWS. So we fence off the area where we think they're going to nest with this black netting, Initially we had signs up saying keep 10 metres back from the netting, but that didn't work, so we had to put out an outer perimeter of posts with rope just to keep people back. Then we have a perimeter inside the black net. We have another perimeter of electric fencing, just in case a dog or foxes or whatever get through the initial barrier. It's an extra barrier to try and protect the terns. And again, we're hugely reliant on volunteers for this. So we have about 30 volunteers, and we're there pretty much from 7 in the morning to 7 in the evening every day, 7 days a week, from the end of April through to mid-August. And this is what we're trying to protect. So these eggs you wouldn't see them, if you're walking up the beach, you'd never see these eggs. These are the chicks, and it's literally just a scrape in the sand, it's the nest. And after about 2-3 days, they leave the nest and they're kind of roaming around the beach. And it's not just the terns that are benefiting from this, so there's the ring plover. They nest there as well. Within 3 hours of hatching, these guys are running around the beach. So they feed themselves and they're down on the shoreline. They're extremely vulnerable to predation, and I say people don't realise they're walking along with their dogs and the dog will see this thing and go chasing it. They don't realise what it is. And also skylarks. So skylarks nest in the dunes and they're benefiting from the protection as well. Sorry. And so just an example of the success. So this is one of the chicks from 2018, the first year that we put a lot of effort into this. And we try and catch and ring them all. So this guy is ringed IZ5, or Izzy5 as we like to call him. So he hatched 2018. He was seen in Baltray in 2020, and ever since 2022 it's come back and nested and had its own fledglings on the beach. So the project has grown from strength to strength over the years. As I say, we try and catch and ring every chick that we can. There's 2 other major colonies on the east coast, one in Baltray and one in Kilcool, and they ring the birds there as well, but they don't know what nests have come from, so they just go out, pick up a load of chicks, ring them and release them. What we try to do, because it's a smaller colony, we know what nests they come from. We can identify the chicks, what parents, so we actually have family trees for a lot of these chicks, which is completely unique and nobody else is doing that. We don't actually get them all, there's always a few that escapes every year. But again, we rely on volunteers to come in and help us with the ringing. So there are 2 major projects that most of our money goes into. Other activities that the branch do, we do a series of walks and talks. So we've been involved with the Skerries Eco Festival and the Eco Festival since 2023. We have walks, talks, and we have a stand over there in the corner. The branch itself has up to 6 talks. Our season is kind of from September through to April. I would say we used to take a break during the summer, but the Little Turn and the other projects take up that time as well. And then we have outings, places like Rush, Skerries, Argillan, Turvey, Malahide, Baldowell, and we normally take a trip to Dundalk every February. And if anybody is interested in going to any of these, all the information is up on our website, bwifingal.ie, or we have an email list. We have a form up there. Just stick your email on it and you'll be notified for all our upcoming talks and walks. So this is some of the outdoor events. So our first coastal walk was yesterday morning as part of the festival. Then we have another one. We haven't decided the date yet, but there'll be one in Rush in October. Then Broadmeadows and Stores in November, Turvey in January, Balbriggan, Delvin in February, and then Portmarnock in March. And then indoor events. So we have a talk on coastal birds in winter by myself. So that's going to be in the library here on the 7th of October at 6:30. So I'd love to see people coming along to that. And that kind of ties into the coastal walks. So we're going to be talking about the birds that we see on the coastal walks. And then there's another one, Eamon and, remind me Frank, Eamon and Christine, local photographers in Skerries. They're doing a talk on their journey through France, and they're always bringing a crowd. It's always a good talk. Then in February we're doing one on swifts, so that's a popular in Skerries at the moment. So again, these are all up on our website. Another thing people can get involved is we do a survey down in Rogerstown every winter. So again, from September through to March, once a month. And it's a brilliant opportunity for people who are not that familiar with the birds of the estuary to come along, and they'll be paired up with somebody who knows what they're doing and what they're looking at. And it's a good way to learn the species. So that happens once a month. And again, all this information is on our website. And this is just a list of some of the other activities that we do, various talks, surveys. As I mentioned, the Swifts, so Swifts box in Rush, Skerries and Balbriggan, barn owl box installations around the area. Linda, who's over our stand, is heavily involved in that. We have our website, social media, and then we maintain rosters for volunteers for our hide and for the Little Tern project. So without, as I said, I mentioned the donations, without the donations and the volunteers, we wouldn't be able to do any of this work. So it's a huge thanks to everybody that comes and supports us. So without them, none of this would be possible. So appreciate all those people. And that's it. Any questions?